Once born, each Japanese sword possesses a destiny. It must not break or bend. It must cut like a knife through butter. When samurai warriors donned their swords, they required them to look exquisite. A sword not only had the utility of a weapon, but also made a fine possession. The pursuit of these twin virtues gives the Japanese sword a unique and illustrious history.
Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel JPM.Cuisine. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of an MX3 7-inch Nakiri, or I believe it's 185 millimeters, same thing. So I'm going to change up the format a little bit in these videos coming forward with the unboxing. I'm going to minimize the amount of paper cutting that I do, just because I've received some feedback on that and it's not having the impact, and I don't really find it as useful. So we're going to try to focus on more vegetable cutting or food cutting in order to really showcase the way that the knives work. You know, with paper it's so easy to fool these tests that anybody who's using just paper to show how sharp a knife is, you're really only getting part of the picture. Okay, so with that being said, let's take a look at this Mercer Culinary MX3 Nakiri. So it's in a beautiful black sleeve with a gold copper inlay for the MX3. And then we'll get into the nice beautiful box itself, and that same cover. Looks awesome. Nothing on the back. Nice textured finish on the box itself. And then let's see. So I haven't opened these up and I haven't seen what they look like, so I've been waiting for these just for you guys. So we get some paper covering. They come pretty stoutly packaged in the in some cardboard, and then we got a sleeve. And wow, these knives look fantastic. Wow. Yeah, the knife really stands out and it feels really thin. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about what we have here. This is the MX3 by Mercer. It's a VG10. We have 3-layer VG10, or 3 layers with a VG10 steel core. It has a Delrin handle, which is made by DuPont. It's a polymer style handle, or a thermoplastic handle, which is built for, what is it, stiffness and high wear resistance. It has a taper ground, as you can tell. If you might be able to tell that on the edge itself, but it's got a taper ground edge, and it's got a limited lifetime warranty. Okay, so let's talk about the fit and finish. And this is gorgeous. So we've got the polishing marks on it. This knife really tapers down towards the edge. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully it's in focus. But we've got a nice rounded spine. I mean, this spine is freaking amazing. It's polished, it's rounded, smooth as anything. And then we see that nice taper down right towards a very thin edge. Give you that ultimate cutting there. It's a Nakiri, so we've got, you know, the rounded edge without the tip on it, almost similar to a chef's knife or Gyuto profile without the tip on it. Nice little bolster. Choil comes out clean enough. Very comfortable for a pitch grip. And then we've got the beautiful 3 rivets and that Delrin handle, which is rounded off as well. Man, talk about paying attention to detail here. Guys, this is the difference between, you know, buying just a random knife maker, or buying a knife from a random knife maker, versus somebody who actually cares about what they're doing, where they think about everything that goes into it for comfort and feel and utility. You can spend more or less on a knife, but you know, these are the things you should be looking for whenever you're going out and shopping. The attention to detail on how they actually grind down and round off the edges to make them comfortable in your hand, versus the things that they skip over. In this case, it doesn't appear as though they've skipped over anything at all. This knife feels fantastic. Wow, I cannot wait to use this. So we've got nice rounded, very clean edges on this, guys. Very clean, very comfortable to use. Let's bring out the scale. Yeah, we're at 204 grams is what it settles out on. Let's go ahead and check for the balance. but it's right on the bolster itself, just a little bit right on the heel. If you guys can tell, that's where the balance on this knife is. No issues whatsoever trying to figure out where the balance is on a knife like this. It's perfect. I've got a few pieces of paper. I'm not going to do the roll. I'll just grab some paper here. Again, whenever I cut paper, it's just to see if the initial sharpness from the factory is there, and if they've left any kind of burrs or any kind of meal marks. And plus, I can get rid of all these magazines that we store around the house. So, see that? Pretty sharp. Out of the box. Trying to make sure I get it in the camera. Oh, that's me right there. Can't get a hold of the magazine without it just flopping around here. There we go. There we go. So, for what it's worth, we have some sharpness. Initial sharpness out of the box is pretty good. Put that in my trash bin here. Okay. Let's get into a tomato. I've got 5 here. I'll just pick one. I'm not using the Roma tomatoes today. I forget which these are. My wife just picked them up. If you guys know what produce are, these are 3151s, so you can go and get them and test it yourself. And again, what I always do is I lop off the end just so that I can have a smooth surface so it's not rolling around. And that initial cut is what we look for. Very razor sharp, very smooth. One thing we look for when we're talking about sharpness in the knife when we're cutting through vegetables, you can sort of tell by the, there's an audible indicator when people are chopping, either how much pressure they're using or how much pressure they have to use. So sometimes you might hear the knife hit the board very, very sternly, and that might indicate that they're having to put a little bit more effort because it's not as sharp as we think it is. So again, I'm gonna try and just balance it. Finger's just gonna be right behind here, making sure it's in the hand. I'm not gonna try to wrap up or anything. I'm just gonna cut the tomato. Okay. And I'm cutting at a little bit of an angle, so I'll try to fix that or correct that. Just keep it straight. Might have to fix that. So this knife, I mean, I normally use Roma tomatoes. This knife isn't having any issue whatsoever cutting through this tomato. It's very ripe. These tomatoes have been sitting on the counter for a little bit. If I can cut it straight, see if I can get a thin cut out of here. I have to straighten it off first. But I mean, it's not having any issues cutting through. Wipe it off real quick, off camera. Okay, I might make some salsa. Let's see. I'm just gonna try a little bit of concentration. Cut through. It's all me. Man, this tomato is ripe and mushy. Awesome. It's gonna taste amazing, I imagine. But this knife isn't having any issues whatsoever cutting through the tomato. It's the operator. Nice clean cuts, pretty thin. No problem whatsoever cutting through that tomato there. I've got some onions here that I'll probably chop into as well, so we'll get more bang for the buck in terms of cutting. So I'm just gonna slice it in half. Very, very nice, very sharp. We'll just cut some, I don't know what I'm gonna cut, just cut into it, just to show you guys some cuts. So I'm a little bit extended out, just cutting in and doing some slicing. The weight of the knife is pretty much doing all the work here. So the edge being that sharp, weight of the knife, some nice beefsteak tomato cuts for sandwiches there. Maybe a little bit thicker than most people. These are kind of what I like when I'm eating a BLT. I want some beefy tomato bites. This is what I would eat when I'm just making sort of a, what would you call it, just a regular deli sandwich. Do some shaving. Oh, a little bit of water there. Okay. Nice. Very thin. Oh, very sharp. Feels very good. I mean, it's cutting through easily, so it's nice. Look at that, just drawing through. This knife is impeccable. Uh-oh, ricers are out. Hopefully you don't hear that. This is my meal there. So we're just gonna do some typical cuts. This is what I used to cook whenever we were making onion for squash and zucchini. But we just do some nice cuts into it. Hopefully you guys are able to see this. I'm in frame. I don't have a monitor. And this thing shaves onion. Wow. Okay, do some end cuts. This is more presentation for like yakiniku or for maybe some salads or something. Even sandwiches, you might want to get a nice thin razor slice of onion. Wow, this knife is fantastic. I'm excited to use this knife actually. I've used Nakiris in the past, and this one feels phenomenal in my hand and using it. Show you guys some of those slices there. It just glides through it. Okay, we're gonna use a pinch grip. Very cool. This is a very fun knife to use. If you've never used a nakiri, it's kind of like a vegetable cleaver itself. That's probably the best use for it. Not necessarily cutting up meat or anything like that. Works very well in pair with a gyoto. This right here, unless you have like a very heavy Western style chef's knife, a nice thin gyoto or even a yanagiba and a nakiri is going to be a very good combo for you. Many of you guys work as chefs and cooks within the restaurant industry, and I wanted to make sure that I reviewed some knives that are NSF certified and for use in those industries, and they're sort of the higher end. Overall feeling so far, I love the way it feels in the hand. I love the way that they've treated the handle. This knife is amazing. If you want one, you definitely should consider picking up. Anything you pick up from Mercer, you're gonna be pleased with. I've never been disappointed with anything I've found from Mercer. Again, if you're not into the Santoprene, these are the Delrin handles, very similar to what's on the Renaissance line, and I've got a few of those that I'll show you guys in a future video. But this right here is the MX3 BG10s for your viewing pleasure. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. One last view. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and again, thanks for all your support.